Welcome to today's Meditation Monday. This week, we are going to work on a meditation to re-engage with your intention and goals. So I think it's probably a pretty common thing. We've all experienced this at one time, but we set our intention, we create our goals, and then life happens. We're doing really great, and then self-doubt gets in the way. We have a setback. We get distracted with something else. And we start to question, is this really going to work for me? We start introducing a lot more negative self-talk, and we sort of lose our way. We forget maybe a little bit of why we were working to create something new. And because all change and transformation really is about growth, there can be discomfort. It can discourage us sometimes, but it's okay. It's part of the process, and you don't have to give up on working towards that creation and working towards that goal. You can take a moment to pause, reflect, and re-engage with why and what it is that you want to create. So that is what today's meditation is going to be about. That's what we're going to focus on doing. I myself, this happens to me all the time. I am a person who loves creating new goals and sets intentions, and just like everyone else, I get lost in just the demands of day to day, and I look back a couple weeks or a couple months later and I don't feel as good about what I'm trying to do. I feel like, is this a time that I should just say, well, I'm going to give up on that. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. It's too hard. Not going to push it anymore. And then I let it go. And then I come back several months or several weeks later and I say, no, I still really want that. There is a reason. If it aligns with you, then you don't have to give up on what it is that you're working to create. You can manifest this into your life, but it takes consistency. It takes that dedication. It takes that intention of energy and effort. So today we are not going to give up. We are not going to throw away our intentions and goals. Instead, we are going to take a moment to remember, and we're going to re-engage with those so that we can push forward on that process of manifesting what it is that we want to create. Now, to do this, I love doing this with meditation because this is maybe 10-15 minutes of your day. You can stretch it to be longer, but this can be your time to focus on what it is that you want and remind yourself what it feels like in your mind and in your body to be working towards creating this new life or change that you want. So with any meditation, I'm going to ask that you find a comfortable place that you can disconnect from other distractions. And we're going to walk through. We're going to go through a little bit of a mindfulness practice, just following our breath, sinking into the moment. And then I'm going to give you some questions, and then we're going to give you some prompts, and we're going to work through a visualization. Then we're going to wrap things up with some gratitude, and hopefully by the end, we can talk about how you take what you experience and what showed up for you in this meditation and turn that into some next steps for yourself. What we experience during a meditation is something that can fuel us beyond just these few minutes that we're giving ourselves. So we'll talk a little bit about that after the meditation. But if you're able to now, find your comfortable space. If not, pause the video and come back to the meditation, do the meditation when you're able to be alone and quiet and still. Once you have your seat, I suggest having some support. Unless you are very experienced with sitting without any back support, trying to engage a straight spine and good posture during your meditation can sometimes detract from the experience. So allow yourself some comfort. Allow yourself a pillow, allow yourself a back support, whatever you might need. And then take comfortable seated position. And when you reach there, you can rest your gaze to kind of relax and then close your eyes. You're going to give yourself permission to let go. You're going to relax your muscles in your body. You can go ahead and you can roll your shoulders. You can wiggle your fingers and toes and just allow them to sink into a comfortable resting position. Go ahead and give yourself permission to be still, to be quiet. Your mind, of course, will continue to have thoughts, and that is fine. But you're going to step back as you sink into this moment, and you're going to step back from being reactive to those thoughts. And you're going to give those thoughts permission to move on. You don't have to address anything right now. You've taken out the distractions. You've given yourself some space and time. So give yourself this time. Give yourself permission to be completely absorbed in this moment. And when you're ready and your body feels comfortable, when you have that sense of stillness in your body, bring your attention to your breath. And if it helps, you can even put a hand on your heart, a hand on your chest, and just start taking intentional breaths. Inhaling deeply through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Overriding your body's automatic response. Switching your nervous system from that instinctual program to a very intentional, purposeful breath, purposeful way of moving and existing. By switching into that mindful breath, you're also turning off all of your body's reactions. You're giving yourself permission, essentially, to not be triggered with that stress response. Observing the quality of your breath as it exists right now for you, as you focus on elongating your inhale and exhale. Just notice, what's the quality? What is the sensation for you right now? Is the breath easy? Or do you feel tightness in your chest? Does it feel like an effort to elongate that breath? And if so, as you breathe in and out, tell yourself that you can breathe easier. Tell yourself that the breath is long and that it is light and that your chest is open and the breath is easy. Increasing that inhale and exhale, extending it a little bit farther and holding the breath for a beat at the top and the bottom. So as you inhale deeply, filling the lungs, and then hold. And then exhale. And then hold at the bottom of the exhale. And then inhale again. Holding at the top, just for a beat. And then exhale. Follow this sensation as your breath moves in and out. And just observe. Your one focus right now is your breath. Tuning in to how it feels, how it sounds, how with each breath in and out, it is that much easier. You are that much more rooted. You are more settled. That with each breath, you find that little bit of more stillness in your mind and body. And now to re-engage with your intention and your goals, I'm going to ask you some questions. And all you need to do is to hear these questions, these soul questions, and notice, observe what comes up for you. If you have an immediate thought or recollection in response to them, just observe what that is and repeat the questions to see what bubbles to the surface. You don't have to force the responses or force a thought to answer. Just notice what comes up as I repeat the questions, as you repeat the questions. Allowing the breathing to settle back into a regular rhythm. Allow your thoughts to follow these questions. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Allowing whatever comes up. Make note of it. Watch it pass you by. See what else might surface to the question, who am I? If it's a profound, overarching definition of who you are as a person, or simply a word that comes up that resonates for you in this moment, to respond to that question, who am I? And now, what is my purpose? Remember your why. Remember your overarching purpose. Maybe this is a long-standing purpose that you have connected with and worked to align with. This is an underlying passion. What is my purpose? Answer the question in your mind with that automatic thought that might come up, or just notice if anything else shows up for you today. Maybe there's something new attached to this question. What is my purpose? Your why. That core part of your motivation to create, to move through the world. What is my purpose? And then, what do I want? What do I want? This can align with your intention. This can be a particular area of focus. What do I want? What comes up for you when you ask yourself the question, what do I want? If it's in alignment with who you are and what your purpose is, answering the question, what I want, could follow in that same line of thought, or it might be completely different. But notice what comes up. When you continue to ask yourself, what do I want? Deep down in your heart, what do I want? And with these questions fresh in your mind, with those thoughts and responses that surfaced or that you remembered from a previous context or moment, remembering and connecting with what it is that you are working to re-engage with, to continue to move forward with. What is your intention? Maybe all of the responses to these questions circle around this idea of what it is that you want to create. Take a moment. See what shows up as you think about that overall desire. What are you looking to manifest in your life? And now I'm going to walk you through just a visualization. So moving your attention and your focus into your mind, really focusing on going inward and allowing yourself to visualize you walking down a path. And this is a favorite place of yours, a very familiar space. You feel comfortable, you feel confident. It's a wonderful, easy walk. You're walking down this path, and I want you to see yourself in your mind's eye and experience this as I walk you through this visualization. See it in your mind, experience it in your mind. You're walking down this favorite path you know so well. And as you walk down this path, you make note of all of the familiar things, all of the things that bring you comfort, whether it's a familiar rock or turn, maybe it's a sound, but you feel at peace. But as you're walking, you notice ahead of you in the path a large door-sized mirror. And as you walk up closer to the mirror, you see your reflection becoming clearer. You see you. And you walk up to the mirror and you're standing an arm's length away and you notice yourself. You take in yourself and you look from head to toe at your reflection, and you notice that there's a slight difference, that what you see is a you, but with slight variations, because you realize that this is not present day you. This is the you that exists in the future, where you have created your success, that you have already manifested what it is that you're looking to create in the world. You have achieved your goal. This is the you that exists in the future. Notice how you are showing up. Notice if there are slight differences in your posture. Maybe you're standing up a little bit taller. Maybe you look more engaged and alive. You're living in your purpose. You've achieved your goal. You are living that success. There's a vibrancy in your skin. There's a lightness to your eyes. There's confidence in how you hold yourself. Now, reaching out in your mind's eye, reaching your fingers towards that reflection in the mirror. You notice that the surface of the mirror is not hard, but rather that it's the surface of a bubble that you can actually move through. And that as you step forward, you can pass right through, and you step through that mirror into your future. You step into your future self that has achieved your goal, that has reached the success. And suddenly you're not standing in the space where you are wondering what it is when you reach your goals, but rather you are in your future self. You are experiencing the world where you have created success for yourself, where you manifested this for you. And as you look around, you notice it's the start of a day and you've just gotten up, and that this life that you have stepped into in this future self is at your fingertips. And you can move through this day and you can note what it feels like, what it looks like. You go ahead and you start moving through your day, and you notice how you wake up and how you feel in your body in this future self that has already created this change, that has moved through transformation and is on the other side, feeling aligned with your purpose, feeling confident in what you have created and what you're doing. How do you start your day? Notice as you move through, what is that ideal morning for you? What does that look like? What does your space feel like? Does it feel comfortable? Is there bright light? Notice who's there, whether it's you having a moment of time alone or if there are people around you. And how do you start your day? You move through your morning routine. Make note of those experiences and allow yourself to fast forward a bit through your day, going through your early morning. Notice where you go. Where in this success, this future you, what are you doing? What types of activities do you move on to that feels so aligned, that feels so connected, that is you living out this purpose and this goal? What does your midday look like? Is it a lunch with coworkers, colleagues, families? Or is it you traveling somewhere, taking a private moment for yourself? Notice where you go as you fast forward through your day. Notice the visuals around you that feed into this understanding that you have achieved what it is that you set out to create. And how good it feels in your body and in your mind. You don't feel the state of chaos. You don't feel self-doubt. You don't have negative self-talk. You move through the day with intention and confidence. You know who you are. You know what your purpose is, and you know what it is that you want. Continue fast forwarding your day to see, how do you wind down your day? What does the end of your day look like? Is it you creating space for yourself to reflect? Is it you sharing with others, having a meal, sharing conversation? Who's with you? What are the things that you might do to wind down and end your day? Notice the light around you. Notice the quality of space. And tune in to what that feels for you as you finish out your day, knowing that you have achieved your goals, that you've moved even farther into that success, that maybe it's creating future possibilities, that having achieved this goal, this intention, you've achieved this success, maybe now you're extending that further. You're looking for ways to continue to grow. And when you finally rest at the end of the day, notice that feeling in your body and your heart that reaches down to your very soul. How good that feels. That sensation of alignment. And now, as you take a deep breath, you feel yourself move back into the present day. You feel yourself stepping back through that mirror. But you take with you that future self. And even though you are in present day, you are taking the knowledge and the sensation and that feeling of connectedness and alignment into your current moment in being. And you see the you in the future. You carry those sensations with you into the present. You carry that knowledge of being successful and achieving your goal and bringing forth your intention. You bring that into the now. Bringing yourself out of that visualization, notice in your body in this present moment that you have already changed, that you have the things that you need to be walking this path. There is no question. This experience of your future self, your future success is not a question. There's no doubt. There's no curiosity. It's a certainty. There is a confidence in your heart. This is something that fits. This is something that you know. And as you think about the feelings, that experience that you just went through, that now lives in your body, in your mind, in this moment, express to yourself the gratitude for being on this path. And think about and give yourself a moment to feel grateful for what it is that you already have, that you've already done. Little, medium, big things, and be grateful for what it is that you have that's working towards this goal, that's moving you with purpose forward through this intention that aligns with your purpose. And just think about those specific things and express gratitude for the skills that you already have, the support systems you've already identified, the time you may have already carved out and dedicated, and the fact that you have this ability to create change, that you are a creature of change. Feel the gratitude for that ability to set a goal, set an intention, to live in this moment, but also be able to experience that future self and create, manifest along the way. And with gratitude filling your heart with the idea and sensation of what that future success feels like in your body, in your mind, allow yourself a deep breath. And wiggle your fingers and toes, reconnecting, feeling energized, feeling ready to make this intention a reality. When you're ready, open your eyes. And hopefully this reconnection that you experience is something you can take with you on your day, can take with you into your week. And this is a wonderful practice. You can shorten this. You can do this over 10 minutes. You can do this over an hour. You can extend the same process and really sink in and remind yourself. We have so many things, so many sensations coming through our various senses over the course of a day that of course you're going to get distracted. Of course you're going to forget what it is that it feels like and why you're doing these things you're doing. This is a great practice to re-engage, to reconnect with your intention and remember your goals, and to fall back into alignment with what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. So some practices to take this meditation a little bit farther is to go ahead, allocate 5-10 minutes and just journal on some of the things that you noted as you were going through the visualization. Maybe you just, something jumped out at you about how you looked, how your future self looked. There's a different style, a different haircut. I mean, it can really be anything. Maybe it was a different way that you held yourself and you realize, I stand a lot taller, and I felt really comfortable when I'm going through this visualization for these reasons. I felt strong. Each of these observations can be something that you start to actualize in your day-to-day. So go ahead and journal on this, think about this, voice memo on this. It's always something I tell people to do, especially if you're like an oral processor. Going through and just talking to a voice memo, great way to turn this meditation into kind of some next steps. Anything that you saw or observed, experienced during that visualization, maybe it was how you started your day, maybe it was how you ended your day. Anything that can feed in, that's something you can incorporate into how you're living your life right now. You don't have to wait for success to find you. You create success. So you're going to go ahead and incorporate anything that you can into your life right now. So thank you so much for joining me on this meditation. I hope this was beneficial. I hope you feel energized and re-engaged, and we'll see you for the next Meditation Monday.